everyone! Welcome back to the table once again, and joining me as per usual is my lovely wife Jessica.
Me.
I know you've been absent for a little bit, but it's welcome back to the table. We're very pleased to have you.
Yeah.
We being, me. And you guys,
I'm hoping
you guys,
some people out there.
I'm sure you guys have missed her too. I mean, she's not dead. She's still around, but we've missed her for a few videos, and we're glad that she's back with the team again.
Yeah. Life sucks up a lot of your time.
Yeah, it does. Life sucks. Bleh. So innovation. Carl Chudik designed this game, and another game published by ELO. If you may remember, King of Tokyo was published by ELO, and they actually, I'm always surprised by how many games pop up under the same kind of developer. I guess I shouldn't be surprised that game developers make a lot of different games, but I'm surprised at how many games of the same developer that we actually have. And so for us to pull two games simultaneously from ELO is a little special. I think that's a little neat.
Yeah. But so far, we really have enjoyed every game from ELO that we've played, so I'd be willing to try more ELO games.
Yeah.
So if you have any recommendations for us that you know of, let us know.
Let us know in the comments.
Because we'd like to try some more. We'd like to try different ones.
Yeah, but we also want to play games that you guys enjoy as well.
Yeah.
That being said, let's have a closer look at innovation. So whenever I do a review, I always make sure to look at a game's complexity, its replayability, and then assess its overall value. Do you get the bang for your buck when you invest in a game like this? And I will say very, very quickly, just as sort of a sidebar, that this game is not for the faint of heart. If you are new to board games and card games in general, you may want to go into this one a little bit more tentatively, because this game can knock you around if you're not careful. So that being said, let's take a look at the game's complexity.
It's complex.
Suffice to say that the thing that makes this game the most complex is the dogmas. The fact that you have to remember what kind of dogmas are in effect. Is it a cooperative dogma? Is it a shared dogma? Is it a supremacy dogma? Do you have enough resource icons showing to make sure that you're guarded against certain resource dogmas, or do you have enough to actually prevent other players from taking part in the cooperative dogmas? There's a lot of resource management, but all the resources are on your card, and that can be a little bit difficult to track if you're not used to card games and card game mechanics. Things like you may, you have to, other card mechanics that supersede rule mechanics. These are common pitfalls for card games in general. And if you're not used to that, I come from a Magic the Gathering background, so I know a lot, and I'm very familiar with how card mechanics can supersede and conflict with game rules. And while you don't necessarily see a lot of that in innovation, specifically, if you're coming in with a less of that kind of a background, this game can kind of knock you around for a loop and kind of blindside you with how difficult it can be just with the card mechanics alone. But I don't know, what did you think, Jess? How difficult do you think that would you find this game?
I guess it's complex, especially in the beginning. Once you know how, it doesn't feel complex. But when you first break it out, and even after you haven't played in a while and you finally come back to it, it is complex to start and to learn. But with more gameplay, and the more that you go around with the people that you're playing with, it does get easier once you know how to play. I mean, that goes for any game, I guess. But I find with a game like this, it takes a couple of tries to get into it, and a couple of rounds to really understand it.
Yeah. Are you going to get it right the first time? Probably not.
No, we never do.
Well,
we've played quite a few games incorrectly over the years.
Not right now, though.
No, we've definitely learned, and we will never give you false information, but there have been games that we've played incorrectly.
Suffice to say that if you come into this game with little to no experience in card games or strategy games, this game is going to be a little unforgiving.
Yeah, don't start with this if you're new to it.
This isn't a good entry point. It's a great game for those who are more veterans of the card game franchise, but don't make this your first game. Mm-hmm. It's like I said, it's a little unforgiving.
Once you know how to play, do you feel it has replayability?
I'm always a major fan of card games. I love card games. I am a big proponent for Magic, Ascension, Star Realms, Pokemon. Like, you basically throw a card game at me, and I'm probably going to enjoy it. This game is not unenjoyable in that respect, and I find myself wanting to come back to it over and over again. However, when you devise a very simple strategy based on the cards that you're given and abusable game mechanics, you can find yourself kind of falling back on very similar routines and not really exploring a full range of what the game can offer you. And getting to the mid... Like, the game itself for me really opens up after the 4th age. The first 3 ages are really just to help you get cards, but you really don't start seeing the full universe flush out, both figuratively and literally in this game, until you reach, like, your 4th, 5th, and onward those periods. Now, like I said, this game can be really unforgiving for new players, and I can easily understand how new players would be turned off from a game like this. However, I do encourage, as always, to give every board game at least a try. And if you find that there's a strategy that someone's abusing, then maybe that is going to give you an incentive to try to find a way to stop it, or to at least partake in it so that you can then try to turn the tide in your favor. But it's all in how the cards fall, what cards you get, you pull aside for your dominations. You could easily destroy a combo like that. So it's going to require multiple playthroughs before you really find a strategy that works, and that, for me, is one of the things that keeps me coming back to the table for innovation.
Yep. I think it does have replayability, but on the same token, it doesn't have replayability, especially when you find that broken system.
It's legal, but is it fun?
Completely legal moves, but yeah. To win off of technicalities, to constantly play over and over again and have somebody win off of a technicality, I don't know. I think it's a great game to bring out once in a while. I'm happy to play again, but I'm not going to want to play this again within the next few days.
As always, and it's going to sound like a broken record, but trust me when I say this, you're going to want to go to your local game shops first to find games like this. I always encourage shop local before you go to Amazon, because Amazon you're waiting, Amazon you're paying for shipping, you could be paying inflated prices. So this game's going to come at you with a price point of around $35 to $40 as well. Maybe a little steep for a card game, but you know, with your average play time of about an hour or so, depending on the number of players, you know, you might get your money's worth for it. Now, we had an extra copy in our previous bento box from Brain Thinkers way back when, a few months ago, and we ended up giving a copy to one of our subscribers for that, so please...
Hi, Adrian!
Hi, Adrian! How's the Galaxy security system treating you?
Yeah, sorry.
But I don't feel like I overspent when I invested in this game. I don't feel like I wasted money at this. I feel like I'm getting a good deep strategy game and a card game for half the price. Now, if you look at a lot of strategy games out there, a lot of the new ones that are coming out, like Terraforming Mars, Terraforming Venus, which is just an expansion for it, Merchants and Marauders, even Settlers of Catan, you know, these more involved strategy games come at a pretty hefty price tag. So when you're getting a game that plays very similarly to these other deep strategy games at effectively almost half the price, I think you're getting a pretty good value out of it. Again, this isn't a game that I would recommend rushing off to for new players. New board game players, especially new card game players, get yourself vetted out on more simpler card games like Smash Up, which we'll be doing later on, even Ascension, which we'll be covering later on as well, have very, very simple mechanics, but get you used to understanding how card mechanics play out with respects to rules. And that is what you can bring to the table with innovation, learning how all of your cards are going to interact, to chain them together to give you an advantage over other players. Now, I would totally recommend this game. Like I said, personally, I don't despise it. I caution, do not run out and get it if you are new to card games and new to board games. This, as I mentioned multiple times in this video, is a little unforgiving, so you just want to be careful with that.
Or if you like things that are complex, if you like games that'll make you think, this is definitely one of them. So if you want to rush out and buy something that'll really challenge you, go on, rush out and get it. The price is really good for the game that you're getting.
Yep. Each game session will probably be about 35 to 40 minutes, depending on the number of players, if not longer. And obviously, with the more players that are playing, the more ages that need to be dominated. So you're going to get a chance to see ages 7, 8, 9, 10, and see what those cards really have to offer you and how they can change your overall strategy. Final thoughts?
Good game. I don't know if I'd rush to play it every day. Personally, that's just me though. But it is a good game. It's worth your time, worth your money. You can definitely check it out. It's a good game. It's well developed.
You get a real chance to watch history unfold before you. And because each age is characterized very, very well by the innovations and inventions that permeated through that age, you really get a chance to watch. Like, for example, even just in the Stone Age, things like agriculture, the wheel, paper, like all of these like simplistic forestry, military, archery, oars, all these different cards that sort of originated in that Stone Age era really give you a sense of kind of immersion. You really get to feel like you're part of a universe that's unfolding and building a civilization out in front of you.
Maybe our gameplay taught us that it's important to stay green.
Oh, hey, a little green energy message. Oh, we're gonna get the politics up in this.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we'll save that for another video.
Yeah.
But anyway,
let us know what you think down in the comments. We would love to hear from you. What are your thoughts? Would you play this? Do you hate this game? Do you love this game? What games do you want us to play? Drop by, just say hi.
yeah.
Just hello. Like us, subscribe to us, follow us on Instagram, Facebook.
All that other fun stuff that'll always be linked down in the description below, as always. Let me know what your thoughts are, and as Jess said, let me know what kind of games you want to see in the future. But stick with me, I promise you, you won't be disappointed, and we will see you at the table next time.